Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome back to Literacy TV with your host, Mr. Scott. I hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday and ready to dive right into the lesson. Today's lesson is going to be all about vocabulary. Well, I know people ask, what is the importance of vocabulary? Well, vocabulary represents one of the most important skills necessary for teaching and learning a foreign language, such as English. It is the basis for the development of all the other skills. Reading comprehension, so understanding what you read. Listening comprehension, understanding what you hear. Speaking, writing, spelling, and pronunciation. The better your vocabulary, the better off you are. Those who know 90% of the words in a text will understand its meaning. And because they understand, they will also begin to learn the other 10% of the words. The more extensive readers' vocabulary and background knowledge, the easier it is to gain new information offered to you by text. Here are 7 really important tips for you to improve your vocabulary and learn new words in English. Tip number 1, read, and more read. The more reading you do, the more words and new vocabulary come into your contact. Tip number 2, keep a dictionary and a thesaurus handy. Well, we all know what a thesaurus is. It's a bunch of synonyms. No, not cinnamon. Synonyms. Synonyms are words that mean the same in a particular language. Dictionaries, well, if we don't know the meaning, we have certainly a way to find it out with a dictionary, online or book. Tip number 3, use a journal. Well, I see many of you, my students, writing down new words on a separate piece of paper so you take it home and learn those new words. A really quick way to develop your vocabulary. Number 4, learn a word each day. Doing that will give you 365 new words for 1 year, unless it's a leap year. Number 5, go back to your roots. Well, learn the basics and build from the start. Play some games. Well, Scrabble. Scrabble would be an awesome game to build your vocabulary. New words means new winning. And finally, tip number 7, engage in conversation. Well, hopefully you are engaging in conversation, picking up the phone, calling each other, seeing how everyone's doing. If not, conversation can be done everywhere. In your own home, on the phone, over the computer, anywhere you want to speak, you can speak. For today's lesson, I'm going to read some text. I want you to listen, follow along, listen for pronunciation, listen for new vocabulary. Write that new vocabulary down. Look in a dictionary. Use that new vocabulary in a sentence. This is the best way to learn a strong, rich language. So the topic of the reading that you're going to listen for new vocabulary with is coffee. Well, I don't drink too much coffee, but I used to. I used to drink my coffee black. No cream, no sugar. But after drinking like 5 or 6 cups a day, couldn't sleep at night, so I cut the coffee. Anyhow, sometimes I miss coffee, but oftentimes I don't. Where do you think coffee originated from? I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the text. What country do you think creates or harvests the most coffee in the world? If I were to take a guess, I'd think it would be Brazil, but I'm not sure. I'll find out in the text. So let's get down to the text of coffee. Coffee is a drink made from the bean of the Arabica tree, a small tree that grows in tropical climates. The beans are harvested from its fruit. The Arabica tree grows wild in Ethiopia. About 1,000 years ago, monks noticed that after eating its berries, they stayed awake longer and had more energy. Other Africans made wine from the berries or mixed them with fat and ate them. Well, that's a good way to get lots of energy, especially in the morning. Sometime later, seeds of the tree arrived in the Arabian Peninsula, where the plant have been grown ever since. Arabians discovered how to take the beans out of the berries, roast them over high heat, grind them up, and boil them in water to make kawe coffee. Kawe is the Arabian language for coffee. Coffee became very important to Muslim people. Their religion forbids them to drink alcohol, but they could drink coffee with their friends. By the 1300s, Arab teachers and Muslims traveling to the holy shrine of Mecca were telling the other Muslims about kawe. Coffee made its way to Turkey in the 1500s and to Italy in the 1600s. A trader from Venice introduced it to northern Europe, where coffee houses became very fashionable. Coffee houses like Tim Hortons or, just many places that sell coffee, and you can have and sit and have conversation. Coffee was not grown outside of Africa or Arabia until the late 1600s. The Arabians tried to control its production, but in 1616, some Dutch adventurers stole the Arabica tree. The Dutch used it to start coffee plantations in their colonies in Indonesia and the South Pacific. In 1723, a French naval officer managed to get a tree to Marantingu, a French colony in the Caribbean. 50 years later, coffee trees were growing throughout Central America. In 1727, a military aid to Emperor of Brazil snuck the tree branch out of French Guiana. By 1906, Brazil was the world's largest coffee producer, and to this day still is. Today, about 50 countries produce coffee for the world markets. Well, you've listened to the story now. Now what I want you to do is use those 10 words, those new words that you've found in this story, and I want you to look in the dictionary. I want you to define those words using a dictionary, and then I want you to use them in a sentence. Well, thank you for joining me in this episode where building a vocabulary is our best friend today. I hope you all have a great day. Have a fantastic weekend, everyone. Talk to you Monday.